But Rob, at some show we were back live with Kevin Israel.
What's happening, guys?
What's up, man?
Dude?
I was very nervous when Rob said that you were coming over because, like, when we first interviewed you, we had Ennis and we had Dave Hodge in studio.
Was that the
And,
show?
Yeah,
Okay.
it was Ennis and Dave Hodge, and I was in this like. This 2 weeks of like I'm gonna prep really hard for all the shows.
He gets in these moods where he prints out like,
like
every news story,
and
every guest's like.
He's the reason why I don't anymore. No, because what I did, like an asshole, I just printed stuff off of your website, and so in the middle of the interview, I'm like, oh, you wrote a blog, Kevin, and I pass it over to the guys, and everybody goes silent, and everyone's just like reading your stuff. I'm like, oh, here's some fitness memes, Kevin made, and I'm just.
Your line though killed me. You said you were reevaluating everything you do in life, like that. That fucking.
And so I'm like, dude, this guy is just gonna come in and just beat the shit out of Bob. I was like, that's
and
the
I said,
only
I hope
reason.
he does. I really hope he does.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, you're insignificant enough that I don't even remember what the fuck you're talking about.
Oh, that's amazing.
Awesome. Oh, at least you didn't do 20 minutes of that to us.
Not yet.
I love the fact that it's promotion. No matter how you look at it, they're promoting us. So I don't know how many listeners they have, but
well,
I said
will
listener.
talk about you guys on our
So-
show. Too.
All right.
I was going to ask you about that.
All good things. Good things.
This is the Offenders.
Yeah, Offenders of the Universe. We air from Hamilton Radio. It's we have our own website that it airs from, offendersradio.com.
Nice.
Links to Hamilton Radio's website. We tape in their studios. It's me, Buddha, the comedian, and Mike Sicoli. And we'll have a guest on every week at 7 to 9 Thursdays, and we just bullshit.
Cool,
man.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing out of?
Hamilton, New Jersey.
Awesome. Are you from around here or
no,
up north?
Nobody's really from around.
No, I wasn't. These guys are.
No, I'm not.
Trust me.
No, I'm not from here at all, man. I'm actually from Red Bank.
Yeah, I'm from Bergen County.
I actually saw the Jersey Devil when I was driving down here, which was
We did find him.
We did.
We have a video on the
big
show.
Yeah.
We went hunting for him.
When people talk about New Jersey, nobody like outside of New Jersey who pictures Jersey as just factories and the Jersey Shore knows that this whole sticks, you're gonna get raped in a basement somewhere exists. Nobody knows that this is part of.
They feel like they're real hillbillies too. They have like pickup trucks covered in mud and like.
Oh, it's scary down here.
We had one guy come up to us and say, South Jersey's below the Mason-Dixon line.
They wear a lot of camo. Like,
Yeah.
Mossy oak, mostly.
Yes. Yeah. What is that?
My folks
like?
had a house down in LBI, so I used to do all the summers down there. And all the kids that lived down there full time were real South Jersey kids.
Yeah.
And then the kids on the other side from Manahawkin and the area. So I got to know a lot of those kids. And they were all, like, when you're stuck down in Long Beach Island and the surrounding area all year.
For the winter, yeah.
Some bad shit happens in
Oh.
your head. Where you have limited options of entertainment. And they're like, we're going to go blow shit up tonight. I'm like, all right, I guess that's what we're doing tonight.
Having a woods party, like where they burn pallets and get drunk and beat you up.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
that's what they're
I
into.
got invited to one of those, and I just
go
didn't
woodsing.
I'm just like, fuck
Yeah. Oh, it's not what I grew up with. It's not my cup of tea.
No, I'm from Monmouth County.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where my family's from too, actually.
Where
The Asbury Park area.
I lived in Asbury Park for a while.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, just a couple years ago.
Asbury Park is nice now.
Yeah, it's real nice.
Yeah.
It's like 100-plate restaurant. 100-plate dinner
Yeah.
restaurants and
Yeah,
shit.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
what
they
happened,
got-
dude? When I was a kid, it was like, you don't
The
go
gay
there.
people.
Yeah.
The gay community moved in.
They
Gentrification.
really did, man. They
did
classed
fix
it up.
They
Yeah, I mean, there's nobody. You want to fix something up? Just put the gay. You should move the gay population into Afghanistan. That place will be turned around.
Yeah, and Tuckerton.
Yeah.
You're right. Moving in here, it'll be.
No, they wouldn't move in here. Afghanistan's more likely than Tuckerton.
More likely.
Oh, that's great. How long have you been doing comedy for, Kevin?
15 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's long.
I got started at Rascals Comedy Club in Ocean Township.
Nice.
And I was doing Rascals there. I would do Rascals up in West Orange at first, and then it moved to Montclair. And yeah, I've been going at it ever since. I took a little bit of a break about halfway through for probably about a year, and then I got back into it. In the past 6-7 years, I've been going at it very hard.
Nice.
What was the break? Were you discouraged, or were you just like, I need a break from this?
Yeah, it was probably a little bit of both. it's a shitty business.
Yeah.
I'm sure you talk to lots of comics. It's just
Yeah.
not. It's not easy, and it's not immediately rewarding. It's not like an actor where you go, all right, I'm going to go on audition. I got the part. I'm doing something now.
Right.
Yeah.
Comedy's very kind of nebulous, where you're like, I'm doing a show. I guess it's cool. I don't know. There's 12 other comics on it. I don't know. Oh, I got $20. I guess that's good.
It's kind of the same thing as having a metal band.
Yes.
Nowadays.
Oh,
Like,
it's the same
yeah.
thing. That's what people compare comedy to acting. It's more like music.
Yeah.
It's much more like performing in a band, because band's the same. You hustle, you get paid shit, you kill yourself for your art or whatever you want to call it.
to get your name out there.
And you never know you made it until you've made it.
Yep.
You know, I'd say 90% of the comics are in this like in between, where some of them are making a living, some of them working a day job. You know, you might take them seriously, and then there's that kind of hierarchy, that first class where they're making tons of money and you know who they are.
Is that like you just gotta just step in shit?
Yes.
Just get
Yeah,
lucky.
totally.
Like
Because
John Peasy was telling us how long he did comedy for, and like,
Oh yeah.
all the names he was telling stories of, and it's like,
Yeah.
dude, you should have had a show, especially with the puppets. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, look
and he
at
just
look at-
says like, you kind of just got to strike gold.
Yeah, look at Vic DiBitetto. You know, he's been doing comedy for almost 40 years, 35 years, something like that.
Wow.
He's a great act, strong comic, always kills. People loved him. Nobody knew who the fuck he was until he did that bread milk video.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
YouTube.
Yes, that
It's
shit
now
was
at
great.
like 60 million hits or something like that. And every time it snows, he gets another 10 million hits because people post it around. And now he's doing movies. He's headlining all over the place. He's traveling all over the country, all over the world.
That's
Well,
what,
Lewis Black didn't even start till he was like in his 50s,
I
right?
heard
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Rodney Dangerfield was like that.
He had a
too.
late start
like,
too.
Yeah.
He didn't get
probably
big
40s or
until he
50s.
was like 50 or something.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and it just takes. It's kind of. I mean, it really is just right time, right place. There's no, because you know what? There's tons of great comics out there who were just as good as the biggest comics who you've never
Right.
heard of, or
Yep.
you know the audience has never heard of.
Yeah.
And it's just because they haven't had that one person go, all right, it's your I'm taking you to the next level. We're gonna do this. I have the right thing for you. We're gonna do this.
He even
and-
worked with John Peasy, like
Yeah.
Ray Romano.
Oh
he
yeah,
said,
yeah,
now,
dude.
Just thinking
But
about
and
it.
Ray Romano was the same way. Nobody knew who he really was until he got his show.
Yeah.
He was a big headliner, but nobody knew who he was. He wasn't a celebrity.
We've had
You
some
know?
big dudes on where I was mad at myself for not knowing who they
Yeah.
were. Once I
Yeah.
checked them out, they were hilarious. Your clips were hilarious.
Thank you.
I checked them out on YouTube.
Yeah, it's just a grind.
And,
It's just waiting for that right little moment. And it's, you know what? It's a ton of rejection. I've gone on tons of meetings with different agents and with different, bookers and with different, and it's just tons of rejection. You really have to kind of thicken your skin to it because it's so much rejection that, and especially when you start feeling good about what you're doing, when you've kind of taken it to the next level, you're doing well. And then you continue to get rejected. It's almost like, what the fuck do I have to do? Like, what do you want from me? Like, tell me. At this point, it's like, I'll do puppets. I'll do voices. I'll be a prop act. Just tell me what you want, and I'll find a way to do it. And
You want me to make jokes on a porn? I'll do that.
yeah. And a lot of comics will jump to make fun of comics like Carrot Top or like Jeff Dunham. And you know what? Fuck you. If you were offered the exposure and the money that these guys are getting, you would do whatever and not taking anything away from those guys. That's what those guys want to do.
I actually like Dunham.
I didn't like him till forever, and finally I checked him out. I'm like,
He
pretty
did
funny.
manage to make
Pretty funny.
ventriloquism relevant again.
Yeah. And it's almost not even ventriloquism. He's doing his message and his comedy through the puppets. Like a lot of ventriloquists, the puppet is the comedy.
Yeah.
He's the comic, and the puppets are just his. It's like Otto and George was very the same.
Yeah.
He was a brilliant comic who did his comedy through the puppet, and that's just that. And when you can do that, it really is brilliant. And you have to step back and go, all right, he's not a ventriloquist. He's a comic who's got a means of communicating his comedy.
Yeah.
Otto was great too because he didn't even attempt to conceal the fact.
No.
Like his mouth would just be moving like normal.
And that's why it wasn't that he was he wasn't this ventriloquist hack act.
Yeah.
He was a great comic writer. He was brilliant, and he just did it through a puppet. And it was, and people said, would he have been as funny if he didn't have the puppet? Probably.
Probably.
But it was the way he did it. It was what he needed that.
Yeah,
whatever.
he may have just felt more comfortable with
With
the
the
puppet.
puppet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I mean, I've worked with comics who, in the middle of their act, they'll be like, and now I'm going to pull out a puppet. And it's like, what the fuck? Like, where did
In the
this
middle
come
of
from?
the act.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, you just ran out of writing material, and so you're going to a puppet now.
Oh.
But yeah, I mean, it's a tough business. It's definitely not easy. So
Watching him too, like you feel like you're watching that character. Like,
Yeah.
well, we were talking to John. I'm looking at the puppet. Like, I'm
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
watching him.
The
I'm,
pimp.
Yeah.
guy
Yeah, he
brought
brought-
it.
Yeah.
The
And
pimp on.
Peasy's a great
Right.
ventriloquist. He actually does the ventriloquism.
He
along
does.
along with he's really talented, dude.
Yeah.
And he works his dick off.
Dude,
I was amazed he came. Like, I was like, wow, look at.
that pimp puppet, man. That
That
guy,
was great. Yeah.
He gave us a choice too. He
he's
said,
a badass dude.
Yeah.
Like he'll stab you, that puppet.
Never be surprised the comics will come do some. We are whores. We will literally, if there's a way to promote. There'll be 3 people there. I'm there. I will make those 3 people are gonna love their shit out of me by the time I'm done. I just need those. They better friend me on Facebook, otherwise
Right?
it doesn't count.
That's great. Who are your who do you look up to comedically?
And now it's not as cool to say anymore, but Bill Cosby is where I really got my start.
He was hilarious.
Yeah, he was.
If
fun.
you ever watch some old Cosby, he'll crack you up.
I used to be on my bio. The whole thing used to be on my bio. Oh, now I can hear myself now. That he was. When I was like 6, there was a show. I think it was called Saturday Night Gold. It was on Saturday nights. Obviously, it was like a variety show, and they would have all different types of. I can't remember who the host was, and I must have been like 6 watching it. And Bill Cosby was trying out some of his material for what would be his Bill Cosby himself, his famous album. And I remember watching it, and he did the bit about being at the dentist, and he saw, and he was drilling, smoke, there's smoke, and he did this whole thing, and I remember watching, and I was 6, so I didn't know what I was, but I remember being like, it's a guy talking, and I'm laughing, and remember just being struck, and it always stuck with me ever since. That had a big effect on me, and stuck with me, and after that, I would memorize joke books. I would just get they used to have the dirtiest joke books.
I was
Right,
just gonna
yeah.
say those. My friend
Yeah,
Chris used to
yeah.
have them, the dirtiest. joke
And
books.
or
They
the
were
Jewish, I
funny.
had a Jewish Irish joke book or 2, and they were these thick joke books, and I would just memorize I would memorize hundreds of jokes and just tell them at dinner. And my mom would always be like, "Where are you getting all these jokes from?" And I would just joke after joke. They used to call me the walking joke, and
I saw that in your bio.
yeah, and it was true, and it was one of those things, and I never put it together that I wanted to be a stand-up comedian. Like, it was just something I always liked doing.
That's
and
amazing.
then years later, I started, and I almost forgot about that part of my life, where I just kind of put it away in a closet and was like, I don't need to, with all my daddy issues and everything else was in there, and
I have those too.
and then we might have the same dad.
I think so.
Down here, it's definitely possible.
Yeah, no.
But then
He was a mess.
but then I started getting up to open mics and just doing it.
Nice, dude. I forget. I just had something and it's gone.
What
That's how it
did you
goes.
want to do as a child? Like, what did you see yourself becoming?
I wanted to be a lawyer.
Oh, you wanted to? I
And
didn't
I
know
did.
if your parents like pushed you to that.
No,
Because
I always wanted to be a lawyer because I grew up in the '80s when lawyers were so cool on TV, and there were all those TV shows that made being like a lawyer look so awesome. And
That's so
lawyers
funny.
made tons of money, and there was I was Jewish, so every Jewish mother wants your kid to be a lawyer.
lawyer or
Right.
doctor.
And I passed out of blood, so it was clearly going so
I remember
wrong.
my friend Danny back in the 80s. He thought Trump was the coolest because he just
Right.
had
Yeah.
money. Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
when I want to be like Donald Trump.
Boy, was he wrong.
Yeah. I should message him now and see if he's gonna vote for him. I'm sure he's not. But that's funny that you said that. Like, it made me think in the middle of you talking about that. My son William, dude, he just has like timing.
Yeah.
Like he
Yeah.
had us. We went to eat with him last summer. Me and Slim. We took him to Burger King. And dude, he just has like I tell him all the time, like you should be a comedian when you grow up. You could tell he's like
I wish somebody told
7
me
years
that.
old, bro. But dude, he has the timing. He'll crack you up. He doesn't stop.
Yeah.
He has the energy. I'm like,
You know what's funny? I did a show with a kid. I did the show at the Valley Forge Casino a few months ago, and there was this kid on the show who was 17. He was doing a guest spot. He did like 5-6 minutes, and he was pretty funny. Good joke writer, pretty funny. he was talking about college or maybe like not going to college or something. And I was like, listen, man, you can want to be a stand-up comedian right now, and you can start to hone your craft and learning how to write jokes and do it. But you're not going to be a stand-up comedian until you have life experiences. You have to get fucked up a little bit.
Yeah,
like, you have to
have that hope beaten out of you.
Yeah,
right?
You have to have, like, your girlfriend has to fuck your best friend. Like, you have to have some bad shit happen before you can be a it's almost like the blues. Being a stand-up comedian is like being the blues. Until you've suffered, you have no place to write from.
Some of them are the darkest. They have the darkest fucking stories in the past. And like, demons.
Yeah,
like...
and the truth is, there's a great video on YouTube of Louis C.K. talking about how he writes, because every year he writes a new hour, which is mind blowing to me. I've been doing the same act for years.
Really?
He's so fucking funny. But he is one of the darkest.
Yeah. And his story was that he, for years, hated his act. If you go back and watch his old stuff, it's very different than what we know now.
The new stuff, yeah.
And he was saying that he would just get up and do it, and like he was doing okay, but he was thinking about quitting. And he listened to he either read a book or heard of a tape of George Carlin talking, and George Carlin was also renowned for every year he'd scrap his act, start from scratch.
Dude, which to me
is like being kicked off a branch. Yeah. Like, how do you know to flap your wing? Like, it blows my mind. But and they asked George Carlin, Louis C.K. was listening to this, they asked George Carlin how do you do it, and he says, every time I write, I peel a layer back and go deeper into me. Like, when I first was writing, I wrote about stuff that I loved, and then I started writing about stuff that scared me, and then I started writing about stuff that hurt, and then I started writing about stuff that I hated. And you just keep finding these new layers. And that's why if you watch George Carlin's act, through the years, it did get darker and darker and kind of...
As an old man, his stuff was the...
Yeah.
My friend Jeremy just at work the other day was like, I was just watching some Carlin at the end, and I don't feel like I was watching a comedian. I feel like I was just watching a very angry,
he was a curmudgeon.
Old man.
He's like an angry prophet or something.
Yeah, right. And that's exactly what he was. That's why he was so great when he played the priest in Dogma. It's like I either want Morgan Freeman or George Carlin to be God when I get up there. One of those two better
or
be God.
Or at least judge me.
Yeah. But that's what you have. That's honestly what you have to do. You have to keep going into yourself and finding, like, whipping out the stuff that you don't want to talk about.
Yeah.
Like the stuff that you don't want, that makes you uncomfortable, that's the funniest shit. Because if it makes you uncomfortable, if it makes you sad, or if it makes you miserable, everybody else has been there. Everybody else is in some level.
Yeah.
So if you can find that in you and then flip it around and turn it into something, it's gonna work. Like, it can't not work.
And it's you. It's you.
Right.
Nobody can. Maybe somebody could try ripping it off, but it's you. It's your genuine.
Michael Nemeth could rip it off.
Yeah, that's
Michael Nemeth. That's just a different.
That's a whole other story.
And I always tell young comics that I say, and I don't know anything from anything, but as far as I'm concerned, I write about my life. I write about my family, my relationships, my experience, and I try to make it relatable. And if you do that, like you said, nobody can take that.
That's what I feel about Louis.
You're right, and it's his
original.
story. He writes about his family, his relationship. He started talking about his divorce once it happened, and doing drugs and whatever else he did. But if it's your story, it's true to you. Like, anybody can get up and write about, so I was on an airplane, and what about fucking those peanuts they give that? Like, anybody can do that.
Yeah.
But when I talk about, like, my mom beating me with a toy Godzilla, nobody else had that story.
And it's always funny.
Yeah, like, nobody else had that experience.
Well, now, how does your family react to you?
They hate it. They hate it. I actually don't. That did happen, but I haven't done that on stage.
I've told a couple stories. I'm like, shit, I hope they never see this.
Yeah.
Like my parents.
Oh,
I've talked about them here and there. And like,
oh, my mom's a nut. And she's, I would say, at this point, probably half my act is about my mom. And she's just, every day I speak to her, she provides more material. We were at dinner, Mother's Day dinner the other night, and this is true. This is not a bit. This is not anything I've done on stage. We were at dinner the other night. It was my mom, my dad, and my girlfriend and I. And my dad was talking about my comedy career, which they very rarely talk about. It's almost like I'm a drug addict and they don't accept it.
We don't talk about it.
We're not going to bring it up. But my dad was actually talking about it amicably, and he goes, you should think about doing those cruise ships. I hear there's good things in cruise ships. And cruise ships there's money there, but it's kind of once you get caught into that cycle, do you want to keep doing it? And it's tough.
That's all you're gonna do.
And it's a hard life.
Yeah,
it's a very hard life. And so I said, well, there's good money, but you also have to dedicate like a 4-month block or a 2-month, whatever month block you're going to give them. That's it.
Yeah,
That's
you're
all you
out
can
there.
do. And I was going, so, I don't know about that. And my mom goes, and they make you do chores. And I was like, what? And she goes, while they're going to make you put away the furniture or clean the decks or something. And I was like, who?
Sounds like something my mom would say.
And she goes, well, what do you think? They're just going to let you tell jokes and that's what they're going to pay you for?
Wouldn't they have guys to just do that? That would be like a deckhand or something.
And I was like, wait a minute, Ma, you think like the dancers and the singers that they pay to be on there are also like putting away furniture and cleaning the
No,
windows?
Mop up the floor.
They're fucking dancing as
And
they're
sh-
putting the food.
Yeah. That waiter was the dancing girl last night. But my mom genuinely believed that 100%. And she looked at me and she goes, I know what I'm talking about. And I was like, and it's almost like arguing with a wall in that the wall's not going to change its opinion.
Yes.
Like you could show a letter. You could bring a comic who's done and goes, no, I don't do chores. And she'd be like, well, maybe you don't do chores. But there are other comics out there who do. Or maybe you don't have to.
They get worse as they get older, too. I
Oh,
noticed
yeah.
my mom a few
Yeah.
weeks ago, we got something on the door, and I was like, oh, what's this garbage? I looked at it, and it was the Nielsen people that do ratings on TV. So I called them. I'm like, this is pretty cool. And they said, yeah, if you want it, let us know. We'll come to your house. We'll put the box on, and we'll monitor. So
That's
I
still
told
a
my
thing?
mom. Yeah, I was
I didn't even
shocked.
know.
My mom didn't even know what it was. She's like, what is it? I'm like, well, I learned in high school that that's how they do it. That's how they get ratings. They put boxes in certain people's houses they pick, and they monitor what you watch. Oh, that's creepy. That's creepy. I don't want that in my house. I'm like, okay, and she went on for like a half an hour about
Yeah.
like, just throw the thing out. Forget about it. Like, I was like, oh my
That's
God.
amazing that still exists.
Yeah.
I figure with cable boxes now, they have a way just to tap in and figure it out.
You would figure, man. Exactly. Everything's got that stupid little box.
That's,
That's how they made it. Like, even to get regular cable on
Oh, yeah.
TV, they have some converter box.
yeah, and you always have to have 2 remotes.
Yes.
Regardless of whatever you do,
Right?
you have to have 2 remotes.
Because that one they give you does not work your TV. No matter what they say, no matter what code you try.
I can never find the second remote, man. I can never.
Oh, it takes me forever sometimes. It's infuriating. You ever sometimes I fall asleep with it, and I don't even know where it is in the morning. The next night I'm looking for it. It somehow makes its way under the bed. It was on the bed.
Oh, yeah.
But somehow it's like 2 feet under the bed, and like you're sifting through like old fucking water bottles and shit. I got 100 of them under there.
Whatever happened to the times when there was just the one remote and you would like fight and brawl with your little siblings
Right.
over that remote?
I remember when it was a clicker box, when it was a box with a cable.
Do you remember? I was just gonna say, remember when it had the
Yeah.
cord?
Yeah,
Yes.
and it was 13 buttons, and then there was a switch that gave you 3 rows, so you had a maximum of 39 stations. And 16 in my area, 16 was HBO.
Yeah.
I don't know why I remember that, but 16 was HBO.
I remember we had a
The
black.
original cable boxes too, with the little toggle switches. and
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
What was that?
And my
Like,
dad used to steal the cable, so he would
Yeah.
have the splitter that would go to
Yes.
all the rooms, and then the cable company somehow would know. They would have someone go around with a meter that would be able to pick up if you're splitting their signal. So he put this like emergency switch that if they showed up, you just flip it and it would go to the one TV.
Oh, that's
and so he
genius.
told us never answer the front door.
Yes.
And if you see someone come around to the back, hit this switch.
Oh my god,
That's amazing.
And now we had, like, my family, we had money. We were all right. Like, he could have gotten 2 boxes. But this was Sid Israel's way of, and now my dad's going to get arrested by Comcast.
Fuck those cable companies.
My friend
man.
Dave's
They
dad always had a
suck.
box, and I remember I kept getting like, they'd zap it. He'd have the illegal box where he
Yeah.
got like
Dude.
every channel ever.
Yeah, my dad had one of those. Him and my mom got in a fight. My dad ripped the box out of the wall and just fucking smashed.
Oh,
Smashed
no.
Smashed it.
Oh,
With the
that's-
box?
oh,
He should have smashed your mom over
This
the
is-
box. That black box is
This
gold.
story's gonna be in a court case soon.
No, he just like threw it to the
My dad and
ground.
your dad are both going to prison tomorrow.
People used to see me and see the shit my dad would say to me. They're like, is he your stepdad? My dad was. People didn't believe he was my real dad. He was such a jerk to me.
Oh, my dad and I are identical.
Yeah, it's
Not now.
As I got older, my
Yeah.
mom's like, you're turning into your dad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even I remember as a kid, like some of the shit he would say was just so funny. Like my mom would be like, "Did you wash your hands?" He'd be like, "Yeah, with my piss." I was like pissed. Like, she's always like, did you wash your hands? Did you wash it's dinner time? Did you wash your hands? He's like, yeah, I pissed on him, like in the bathroom. Like, now he's like the most relaxed dude. He's so chill. But back in the day, man, he just had that shit. He was on point. We're gonna take a quick break.
Yeah, sounds good. All right, guys, we'll take a quick break and we will be back
With Kevin Israel. And then we'll be back with Kevin Goatee after.